The other day, I got an email from, speaking of walking on a tightrope, I got an email. Some of you probably are on Stephanie and Luke Bettman and Halbin's email list, and Stephanie sent out an email with a picture of her walking a slack rope in my neighborhood. That's in Sloan's Lake in Denver. And Stephanie's walking this. It's so amazing to me when you see people do this. I see them live doing it, how they do that. But she wrote a little piece about it, and I love this because it so ties into what we're talking about today. She said that when you're walking a slack rope like that, you have to focus. You can't look back. You can't look down. It's okay if there's a lot of swearing going on, but you gotta focus. One foot in front of the other, one step at a time, which is the spiritual path. Focus on where you want to go. Focus on what your destination is. Focus and expect that you're going to make it, which is what we're talking about today. Like instead of having all these stories or situations or things in our heads that play over and over again. I read an article yesterday about earworms. I had never heard of this term. Anybody hear earworms? You've heard of it? I have not heard of that. So it's when you get a song stuck in your head. I always have a song stuck in my head, always. Some song is always stuck in my head. And so I'm reading this article, and they call them earworms. Like it feels like you have this worm in your head that just won't shut up, that won't stop. And so I'm reading this article, and it says, most people that have earworms are either musicians, women, or neurotics. I'm not a musician. I am a woman, I'll go with that, but I didn't really like that. I'm like, come on, men have this too. So I had to, go on my little squirrel hunt and keep looking. So there was another article that said that 98% of the people have this, that they get a song stuck in their head from anywhere from a few hours to a few days to a year. It can be stuck in your head. And it's a sign that, and it's not just men, women tend to be more bothered by it, they said. Why? I don't know. But it said that it means that you're open-minded. I'm like, okay, I like that article. That's the BBC Science article, and I'm going to go with that one. We're open-minded. But what happens when a song is stuck in your head is it's not the whole song. It's just a little part of it. It's just a few measures. And it keeps repeating and repeating and repeating. Just like we do with stories that we tell ourselves, situations that we're bothered by, things that happened to us or happened, we think, to us, but happened through us or happened for us. We don't have the whole story. We don't have the whole song. One of the solutions to getting an earworm out of your head is to listen to the whole song. Another solution is to play a different song. They said God Save the King is a really good one for that, maybe, because it was a BBC article. I don't know. Where was I going with that? Anyway, we can sing a new song. We can sing a new song. We can create a new life. We can create something different for ourselves. We are creators. And we're talking about these last couple weeks about Unity's basic principles. The first principle a couple weeks ago was God is one. There is one power, one presence in the universe, and that is God. All that there is, all there is. And the second principle is if that is all there is, and we are that, then we are that. We have all the potential, all the godness within us. And everyone has it equally. It's not I have more than you or you have more than her or him, or it's all equal. It's the amount of how much we're aware of it. And so if we believe this, if this is in our belief structure that there is only one power and one presence, and we are part of that, we are that, then we are also creators. And we create our life by our thoughts and our feelings and our beliefs. And this is Unity's third principle, I think. I think. Our thoughts, our emotions, our beliefs change the experience of our lives. We can create a new experience. In the book, Reverend Ellen talks about that we are co-creators with God. Now, when I was in school taking classes, my teacher, Reverend Paul Hasselbeck, said, that sounds like separation. You don't want to say we're co-creators with God, because that would mean that we and God are separate. No, we are creators. We are always creating, always creating. Sometimes we don't like what we created. Sometimes we say, I created this. No, I didn't create this. No way. We don't want to take responsibility for what we created. But we do create how we experience everything that happens. And mostly with our feelings, more so than with our thoughts or our beliefs. Also our unconscious beliefs. So we might not even be aware of something we're holding. And it's affecting our whole life. We use this is really a fun principle, because this can be like your spiritual playground here. You can experiment, you can try things, you can try new things, start small. Don't start like with, I want $1 million or $1 billion or whatever. Start small with something that you want in your life. What would I love? This is Prosperity Plus 101. We're going to start a new class in January. What would I love? Take any part of your life and think, what would I love? What would make me excited to get up in the morning? What would I love that part of my life to look like, to feel like? Who would I be if I was living that life? We can create, we can envision, we can visualize, we can imagine. This is all part of our ability, our God-given abilities, our power of imagination. And it's fun. It can be fun. Unless we get to a place where I created this, we don't like what happens, what's going on in our lives, we can change it. And maybe you'll say, no, you don't understand, you don't have my situation. We're all human, and we all have had human experiences that we don't enjoy. Let's just say that, enjoy. I've been heartbroken, I've gone through a divorce, cancer, money worries, all the things that all of us go through, many of us go through. But we don't have to suffer with it. In Unity, we don't teach that heaven and hell is a place we go. It's a state of mind. We can create heaven right here, right in our own consciousness, by choosing to see things from a broader perspective. Or we can create hell and really suffer through things. It's our choice. We do have the ability to change our thoughts, to see things differently, to be more clear. We have that ability. But sometimes we get stuck in it and we just can't see it. We just aren't aware of it. We're in a pattern. We want to break out of that with our thoughts. Start with our thoughts, because it's your thoughts that are going to start, and then your feelings. And our belief systems can expand. These Unity principles have totally changed my life. I manifested my husband. Yeah. That's a whole nother story if you haven't heard that one. I manifested, or I created us moving to Colorado. I created this becoming a minister. I would never have imagined this 20 years ago, having this job that I get to do. We're always creating. And the law of attraction is part of this process, that what we think and what we believe and what we feel, we set a vibrational tone, and anything at that vibration is going to match us. And so the law of attraction says that what we think and feel and believe, we will attract ourselves to. Not that things just come to us, but we attract ourselves to them. I remember somebody telling me they wanted to be in a relationship with someone, but they never left their house. Well, I mean, you can meet someone online, and my husband and I met online, but eventually you have to leave the house. You have to go to that situation. You can't, it's not all just going to come knocking on your door. I'm here. You made me. You manifested me. It doesn't work that way. We watched a movie last night that Martha Creek recommended. If any of you get her newsletter, she recommended this movie called One Life with Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins, right? And it's the story of Nicholas Winton, who was a British stockbroker who went to Prague right before the Second World War and saw the conditions that a lot of the refugees were living in, mostly Jewish children, and how they were just heading into winter, and they weren't going to survive the winter if they didn't have food or shelter. And so he was part of this team that was trying to help refugees, and he said, "What about the children?" And they're like, "What about the children? What can we do?" And he said, "We need to move them out. We need to get them out of Czechoslovakia. We need to get them to England, get them to foster homes where they will be taken care of." And the people, his colleagues, were saying, "Not possible. We can't possibly do that." And he said something along the lines that everything is possible if you just believe. And I think that's what happens in our lives. Is there's so many, infinite possibilities. Why do we hold the possibility of things we don't want to happen? Why not hold a possibility of something that we would love to happen? So he got to work and went back to England and they had some really strong requirements to get these children out of Prague, out of Czechoslovakia. He had to find foster families. He had to get visas. They said it took time. He said, "I don't have time." And they got 8 trains of children out of Prague and into Great Britain, where they were placed in foster homes. And Anthony Hopkins is this man looking back on his life. And I'm not going to spoil it because I think it's a really good movie that we could all watch. It's very moving, very touching, very sad at times to see the conditions they live in. But one person, one life had a thought that we need to get these children out of here. And he ended up saving 669 kids. 200 children, only 200 children survived the Holocaust that went to the concentration camps. And he saved 669. He had people that helped him, but at the end of the story and at the end of his life, he was the only one still alive. One person can make a big difference. One person has no idea, and he had no idea, the ripple effect of what his actions did, what his belief that this is possible. This is a possibility I'm going to hold. We can all do this. One part of your life, what's one possibility you can hold that you didn't believe was possible? What if you believed it's possible? What we do when we can commit to that, we focus. Like Stephanie did on the slack wire, whatever, slack thread. I don't know, slack line, thank you. Like the cat was up here. Focus. Have faith. We all believe in something. Where are you believing? What are you believing in? Sing a new song. Tell yourself a different story. Give yourself a different possibility. In this book, The Lazarus Blueprint, I love how this has been following right along with the 5 basic principles. This book describes a six-step process to transformation or to overcoming some challenge or to healing or inner peace. And the first step was turn away, like don't dwell on the problem. Don't dwell on the problem. You make the problem bigger than the problem is when you dwell on it. The second step was remove the stone. So get those obstacles out of the way that are blocking the life that is longing to come through you. And this third step is great expectations. We have to expect the best. We have to expect that it's going to happen. Believe it's possible. Trust in the process. Trust that spirit, that this inner urge, this desire, this urge, this longing, this whatever you have within you that wants to be more, have more, do more, is spirit saying, this is my plan for you. That you become all the potential that you are, that you live your potential, that you live into these possibilities. God's will is our will. Our desires for ourselves is God saying yes to that part of our life. And so this great expectations comes from this part of the story of Lazarus being raised from the dead. Jesus said, did I not tell you that if you would believe, you would see the glory of God? And then they moved away the stone. There's all these people around saying, what is he doing? Is he lost his mind? He's out of his senses. Yes, he's out of his senses. There's so much more wisdom and understanding and potential than what we experience with our 5 senses. So much more. We have to have faith. We have to believe it's possible. Did I not tell you this? We know this already. There's a part of us that knows this. Did I not tell you? Is it not written on your heart? Don't you already know that if you believe what you believe in, that is what you're going to focus on, that's what you're going to expect, and that's what you're going to experience? We get to choose what we're going to experience, how we're going to experience our lives. With our thoughts, with our emotions, with our beliefs. And you may be hitting up against a brick wall. Maybe there's an unconscious belief. Watch what you say. Watch the things you do. Pay attention to your words. Pay attention to the conversations you have. And what can you change? If you want something better. If you don't, if you want to stay where you are, that's fine. Don't sing a new song. But we have the option, and we're invited to always sing a new song. Create something different. Show up differently. I love that they say in this, we tend to attract whatever we have faith in. We can invest our faith in sickness or invest it in health. We can invest our faith in hatred or invest it in love. We can invest our faith in poverty or invest it in prosperity. We tend to get what we expect. So why not have great expectations for ourselves? Why not? Sing a new song. You know, we might be singing the blues. We might be singing Heartbreak Hotel instead of Lovity Love. Sing a new song. Sing a song that brings you joy. Life is lived from the inside out. What we believe is what we're going to see. We don't see this, they say in here, we don't see, I don't know, I'm kind of not, I don't know if I believe this, but it seems kind of far-fetched, but what does it say? We cannot see 99% of what is actually around us. 99%. We only see 1% of the vast electromagnetic spectrum, whatever that means. We have a choice. We have a choice to use our thoughts, use our emotions, and play around with this and have fun with it. And life is meant to be lived joyfully, abundantly. And if you're not, maybe a shift is in order. And if not yet, it's not yet. It's not ever. It just means not yet. Maybe it takes a little more patience. Maybe it takes a little more time. And please, if you have received bad news or something, I'm not trying to make light of anything that you're going through. I've gone through some stuff myself. But we can choose. And I want to say this too. Just playing the blame game or shaming ourselves because of what we're going through does not serve us. Things happen. There's 8 billion people in the world. And sometimes if we're all creating, we're going to bump up against someone else's creation. So don't blame yourself when something is not going the way you would like. Just choose how you're going to show up with it. Instead of asking why, say how. Not how did this happen? How am I going to show up? How do I want to be with this? Who do I want to be with this? We all go through challenges in life. Nobody's perfect. And we all have an opportunity to change how we see things, change how we think about things, change our experience. So are you willing to do that? It takes courage. It takes patience. It takes faith. But we all have the capacity for that. We all have that. I want to leave you with something that Betsy Bomber, is Betsy here? She might be watching online. She sent me a couple days ago, and this is from Pope Francis. And I thought, well, this is very much in alignment with who we are as spiritual beings and human beings. And Pope Francis wrote this: "You can have flaws, be anxious, and even be angry, but don't forget that your life is the greatest business in the world. Only you can stop it from failure. You are appreciated, admired, and loved by many. Remember that being happy is not having a sky without storms, a road without accidents, a job without effort, relationships without disappointments. Being happy is to stop feeling a victim and become the author of your own destiny. It's going through deserts, but being able to find an oasis deep in your soul. It's to thank God every morning for the miracle of life. It's kissing your children, cuddling your parents, having poetic moments with your friends, even when they hurt us. To be happy is to let the creature that lives in each of us free, joyful, and simple. It's having the maturity to be able to say, I made mistakes. Having the courage to say, I'm sorry. It's having a sensitivity to say, I need you. It's having the ability to say, I love you. May your life become a garden of opportunities for happiness, that in spring I can be a lover of joy, and in winter a lover of wisdom. And when you make a mistake, start over, because only then will you fall in love with life. You will find that being happy doesn't mean having a perfect life, but she uses tears to irrigate tolerance. Use your defects to train your patience. Use your mistakes with the serenity of the sculptor. Use pain to tune into pleasure. Use obstacles to open the windows of intelligence, and never give up. Above all, never give up on the people that love you. Never give up on happiness, because life is an amazing show. Sing a new song, because life is an amazing show, and each of you deserves to live that amazing show, that beautiful song. Namaste. Peace be with you.